Good morning, everybody. Welcome to another Together class. Today's class is called Around the World. Really, we're just going around our mat. So just a heads up, we'll be moving from the front of the mat, to the side of the mat, to the back of the mat. We'll be doing that in each sequence, and rest assured, the whole point is to find our center so we can move in a few different ways, even kind of do some turning around to challenge ourselves, to be in a different direction, to kind of have a different way to face something. And, with that though, just keep in mind that again, kind of this whole like coming around theme is that ultimately all these sequences will end with us facing the front of the mat again. So rest assured, we will always make our way back to the front of the mat and we'll all meet at the front of the mat after each of these sequences. But we can get started down on our backs. And I have a block, but it won't necessarily be required for today's class. Sorry, everyone, I think my notebook is in the kitchen still. And as you come onto the ground, you'll get your hips on the ground, you'll get those shoulders on the ground, and you'll feel the back of the skull on the ground. So just like Allie's demoing really nicely for us here, I want you to find yourself all the way on the floor, walk the feet in, get the hands on top of the femur bones now, and just press those femur bones away from the hip sockets. So as we come onto the ground, we'll have our hands on top of our leg bones, and we'll be pressing those leg bones a little bit away from the center of the hips. Press into the feet and extend your hips, root the glutes. So I found that notebook, rest assured. And we'll press into our feet, get a little lift and lowering here. We'll take our hands up towards the ceiling. It'll be kind of similar to our foundation class, which had a little bit of turning around the mat today. But, like always, our Together class, just sort of bringing it a little bit further. Take your right hand over your left hand. We'll pull back on the four fingers of the left hand, stretching out our left wrist. So again, just a little lift and lower here. You can really, really feel those glutes firing up. So if you feel that the low back is what's getting short for you, or you feel like it's working on you, we tend to be kind of short in that iliopsoas, one of those all important posture muscles. You can release the first wrist, circle it a few times, get the other wrist stretching. So, if that's really short for you, and as we're doing these little pulses, you feel that low back getting pulled on, I recommend come a little bit lower, get your glutes firing up even more. So we want the glutes to fire so that we don't feel as much of that pull from that iliopsoas. Again, large muscle coming from the very top of our leg bone up into that low back space. So if if the glutes are not doing as much of the work for you, release the right wrist and circle it. You might feel that something like that hip flexor, that iliopsoas is really what's creating that pull. So as we bring our arms back by our side, we'll just hold our little low bridge, and then I'll have you come down one vertebrae at a time and bring yourself all the way down onto the ground until the sacrum comes back down onto the floor. You'll interlace your fingers, take them behind your head, and draw the elbows in nice and close here. So you really want to get those hands tied behind your skull, and then you just kind of want to like relax your neck into your hands. We really don't want our neck working too much for us here. We'll take our legs up towards the ceiling, but have as much bend in the knees as you'd like. So I was talking about this with a client the other day, and this idea of like, if you can straighten your legs, sure, that's nice. But what I'm more concerned about is where's your pelvis, right? So we want to feel that sacrum on the ground. The knees might have to bend, just, especially if you're like me or a little tighter in that posterior chain of the legs, so straightening them, it's going to bring in that posterior tip. So put as much bend into the knees as you'd like. It's really more important that you feel like vitality through your legs, spreading the toes. Like there's this like almost like electrical current running through your feet. So again, your legs are up, the toes are spread. The pelvis is level on the ground. We feel that sacrum connected to the floor. You can have as much as a 90-degree bend into those knees. But we inhale, fill it up, and as you exhale, lift. So shoulders lift off the ground. We keep the neck relaxed into the hands. Lower your right leg just a few inches towards the floor. And it might even go as low as like halfway, but then scoop your tailbone a little bit and really feel that gathering. The right leg comes up. We unscoop the tailbone, inhale and lower. Exhale and lift, gather together. The left leg lowers. Just a few inches on that left leg, lowering. We hold it together here. Left leg comes up, inhale. Exhale and lift, gather together. The right leg lowers, just a few inches there. Twist to the left. As you're twisting to the left, you want to hold in steady on the low ribs. Come back through center, right leg comes up, inhale. Exhale and lift, gather together. The left leg lowers. Take a little twist to the right. So you stay off that right shoulder blade, and we're scooping the tailbone just a little bit to secure ourselves here. Left leg comes up, come back through center. Inhale and lower. So exhale and lift, gather together. Right leg lowers, listen carefully, twist to the right. You're twisting towards the open side and just staying off that right shoulder blade. You'll come back through center, right leg comes up, inhale. So do that the other way, exhale and lift. So that left leg lowers, twist left. You just twist to the left here, try and stay off that left shoulder blade, scoop the tailbone a bit, and then come through center, left leg comes up, inhale and lower. Exhale and lift, gather together. Lower the right leg. Now again, listen, we're gonna twist to the left, so towards that leg that's up, stay up, come through center, twist to the right. Scoop the tailbone a little bit, come through center, right leg comes up, inhale and lower. Woo! Exhale and lift. One more time here, gather together. Left leg lowers, twist to the right, come through center, twist to the left, scoop your tailbone, come through center, left leg comes up, and release. Now let's wiggle the feet wide. And as you drop your knees to the right, press your left heel into the ground. I want you to feel your left glute fire up for you. You'll feel that opening in the left hip. So again, extending those legs up, but focusing on the connection proximally. Where is the true center that's going to guide us? The pelvis is the center of our movement. So even as we move from the front to the side to the back today, around the world again, so to speak, we will definitely be using that centered position of the pelvis like a compass, right, to help guide us. Bring ourselves back through center. The legs drop off the left, press into the right heel. And with that in mind too, why not? We'll try it out. I'll have a little like, compass directional cueing today. So the front of our mat will be north. Right here to the right, just like tap the ground with your right hand. That's east. Up above, that'll be south. And then tap the ground with your left hand. Just remind yourself that's west. Left is west. Bring yourself back through center. And then we'll bring ourselves up and around onto hands and knees, quadruped. Now in your quadruped, we'll get ourselves set up here with hands underneath, palms on the ground, spread the fingers, really feel your palms connect into the floor, especially where your knuckles plug into, your fingers, plug into your hands at the knuckles. Feel each one of those knuckles, like all four of them, really connected into the ground. You're gripping your fingertips. You feel those shoulder blades soften onto the back ribs. We're not letting the chest collapse to the ground or anything, but we're connecting the scapula onto those back ribs. And then your hands will not actually move. So they don't move. The wrists are going to stay like lined up at the short top of the mat. But feel like you could dial your left hand out to the left. Feel like you could dial your right hand out to the right. And let that really set the head of the arm bones in place here. We'll take another big inhale. And as we exhale, feel the gathering of the front line and the back line. Then bring your right hand behind your skull. And we're going to press in the left hand, rotate the ribs open to the right. And then close your torso off to the floor. Press in the left hand, rotate the ribs open to the right. Don't move the neck at all. So the neck will not rotate, but we're just rotating the ribs. We close it off. Press in the left hand, rotate ribs open to the right. And that can be tough because a lot of times we're leading with our neck. The neck is usually overworking for many of us, and we are lacking rotation around the thoracic spine. So nothing wrong with having a rotation in the neck, but we're limiting that right now so we can really focus again around those ribs. Next time you close it off, right hand down, left hand behind. So with your hand behind your skull, it's a cue to lift your skull into the palm, to lift your elbow out to the side, press on the right hand, peel the ribs open to the left, and you close it right off. So it's the right hand pressing into the ground. Again, sort of feeling like it would dial out to the right, but it doesn't move because you have a sticky mat underneath of you. As you're peeling it open, you just want to allow that right shoulder blade to create the movement. It's like the little engine that could, right? One more time here, press and rotate open, and then close it off. All right, bring your forearms down, set up your first dolphin. So here's one place where, a block is optional, but I sure like to use it. You can bring your forearms down onto the ground. You could tie your hands together. An alternative to that is take your block on the widest setting and put your pointer and thumb, your index finger and your thumb in the corners of the block. So that, we're using cardinal directions. That would be the southeast and the southwest corners there. Squeeze your elbows in, because a tendency is for them to probably wing out on us all a little bit. So let's give them an extra big squeeze in here just to start, you know. We'll relax our neck, tuck our toes. And with the toes tucked, push into the forearms, spread your shoulder blades and hoist the pelvis towards the ceiling. Now, hoisting that pelvis on up, you're gonna take a big inhale and exhale. Another inhale and exhale. Take one more, fill up the back like a big balloon. As you exhale, stay lifted, lower the knees. Now sit the hips back, child's pose. So just getting those shoulders fired up as a final little check-in with resetting the body. And remember, your shoulders, your scapula back there, right? That's your upper core. So important, unfortunately, very overlooked for a lot of us. And, you know, let's just be real, right? It's behind us. It's out of view, so a lot of us not thinking about it. That's okay. That's why we're here, bring some awareness to those spaces, lacking awareness. That's why we go around the world, right? Find some things that we didn't know before. We'll bring ourselves forward and let's come to the top of the mat. So feel free to take a little sip of water or anything else that feels good for you. We're gonna meet at the top of the mat before we get ourselves flowing. Again, I have a block, but that doesn't mean you necessarily have to have a block yourself. You might find you find all the poses comfortable without a block. So on the top of the mat though, we'll bring our arms by our side. Inhale, reaching forward and up. Exhale, hinge the hips, hands come down. The right foot steps back, the right knee comes down. 90-90 low lunge. Inhale, arms reach forward and up. Bring the hands down to the floor, step back for plank. Exhale, use the retention, lower your knees, lower all the way to the ground. The retention holds you together. Inhale, pull back your hands in Cobra. Root your tailbone towards your heels. Push through your palms, up through plank. Downward facing dog. Think of folding yourself in half using the strength of the abdominals. Try not to pick up your hands. Step the right foot forward. The left knee comes down. Now arms lift up. Inhale, arms reach forward and up. 90-90 low lunge. Hands come down. Step top of the mat. Left foot meets right. Arms reach forward and up. Stand up tall. Hands come down, exhale, hinge at the hips. Left foot steps back, left knee comes down. 90-90, low lunge. Inhale, arms reach forward and up. Hands come down. Step back for plank. Lower your knees, lower all the way to the ground. Head of the arm bones, stay lifted. Pull back your hands in Cobra. Root your tailbone, push into the palms, up through plank. You can use your knees as you come up through plank and then fold yourself in half for downward facing dog. You can try not to pick up your palms. So we want to keep the scapula connected into the ground. Weight is equal between the hands and the feet in down dog. Left foot steps forward, right knee comes down. 90-90, arms reach forward and up. Reach those shoulders up to the ears. Hands come down to the top of the mat. We exhale, step. Inhale, reach it forward and up. Exhale, hinge at the hips. Hands come down. Right foot steps back. Right knee comes down. 90-90. Once again, inhale, arms reach forward and up. We're gonna stay here just a little bit. Right arm stays reaching up. Bring the left arm down and onto the back right glute. So I want you to knuckle into your right glute and then lift that right glute up and into the left hand. Really keep reaching that right shoulder up as well towards that right ear. One more. And then sweep it down, tuck the toes, turn right, side lunge to the right, side lunge to the left. We'll go both ways a few times. So this is our first time going to the side, going east, right? Keep moving those femur bones back in space. I like to take the pointer and the middle finger and just on each hand, gently move them into my hip crease that I'm sitting back into. It really does help move that femur bone back in space. It gives you a little tactile cueing, a little tactile direction. All right, everybody, side lunge to the right. We're gonna go to the back of the mat for the first time. So around the world, walk the hands to the back of the mat, turn toes. The left hand is down, the left knee comes down. Modified side plank, right leg's going to the original top of the mat. So send it north, right? That's the top, north. Left hand's underneath of us, and we're reaching the right arm up. Keep pressing the right foot into the floor. Feel the right glute is activated. You can check in with your shoulder joint here. Maybe actually cup the glenohumeral joint, the head of the arm bone. Make sure it's centered in that shoulder socket. You can bring your right hand back on top of that right side of the pelvis. Really feel that your right glute is working for you here. You want to feel hip extension in the front. And if it feels good there, you could reach the arm forward and up. And as that right arm reaches over the right ear, maybe let your left ear fall to your left shoulder. And so we feel this nice release around the right side of the neck. Let's get one more, and this is going to be our big transition back to the front. So as we come off this left hand, we're going to point the right toes to face the front of the mat, bend the right knee, keep internally rotating your left hip. Come off the left hand. It's like a windmill here, all the way to the front. We dive the hands, land them back at the north, step that left foot up to meet the right. So it's a windmill. Inhale, arms reach forward and up, stand up tall. Exhale, hinge at the hips. Nice one, everyone. Left foot steps back, left knee comes down. 90-90, arms reach forward and up. We'll bring our right arm down and just onto that left glute. So you keep reaching up with this left arm. You want to feel that length, that support. Use the exhale to maybe try and lift your left shoulder blade up a little bit higher. Really get into it. Left arm sweeps down, tuck the left toes, turn to the left. Side lunge to the left and side lunge to the right. So as we're going side to side, I'll turn to the side just to illustrate this point. Really make sure you're moving those femur bones back to space. But then let's also focus on the upper body too. Let's feel the front line of the body, pull into the back line of the body, shoulders pin back, neck is long, in line with the shoulders, head of the arm bones stay lifted. So with that torso feeling elongated, ready to go. Everyone, side lunge to the left. First time heading to the back of the mat. On the second side, we're gonna walk to the back with the hands facing south. Right hand is down, right knee comes down. Left leg slides back to the original top of the mat, so it's up north. And we have our left hand on this left hip. Let's check in with that first here. Let's press that left foot, feel that left glute squeeze. Bring your right hand to the head of the arm bone on the right side. Cup around that glenohumeral joint, like really feel it. Make sure it feels centered for you, strong, supportive. From there, we'll reach the left arm up over the left ear. We're pressing that left foot, extending the sideline of the body, activating the left glute to extend the left hip, using all these muscle dynamics to free it. And if you're reaching that left arm over the left ear, maybe bring a little space to that left ear and left shoulder by dropping, woo, right ear. So I lost my balance there because my right glute was not engaged. Check in with that. Make sure the hip that's underneath of you is active and firing up. I'm not gonna lie, the stretch of releasing my right ear to my right shoulder felt so good. I just completely disengaged my glute medius there on the right side. And oh, you can see how side hip can create a lot of instability in the body. That was a great example. All right, let's come back to the top of the mat. So we're gonna bend our left knee, point those left toes to the front of the mat, roll that right hip in even more, lift the right hand off the ground. We're coming north, hands land, step the right foot to meet the left. Exhale, hinge at your hips. Inhale, arms reach forward and up. Exhale, hinge at the hips, hands come down, and we'll land the palms, step or hop back, plank pose, lower, knees or not. Head of the arm bone, stay lifted, pull back your hands in Cobra, root your tailbone, push through your palms up through plank. Now in your plank, you have some options here. You can breathe, you can step to the top of the mat, you can do a little coil and spring. Now if you coil and spring, pay attention to pressing into your hands, feeling like your forearms are lifting away from the floor. So we don't want to collapse our head into our armpits. Keep your head lifted up out of your armpits. When you bend your knees and send your hips back towards your heels, your chest doesn't change positions at all. You push through the toes and you get that extension of the hips. So again, you can step to the top of the mat or you can make a little hop. Nice. Inhale, arms reach forward and up. Exhale, hinge at the hips. Hands come down, make it back to plank. You could do a little hop or step back, lower, knees or not. Head of the arm bone stay lifted, pull back your hands in Cobra, root your tailbone, push in the palms, up through plank, downward facing dog. Again, step to the top of the mat or maybe you coil and spring. Get a little push through the toes, but keep that chest supported. Inhale, arms reach forward and up. Exhale, hinge at the hips. So we do not collapse in the glenohumeral joint in this class. Lower in life, right? Pull back. We don't want that. Push, rise up. You can stretch that area effectively, but we really don't want to hang our body weight in it. All right, take a breath in here. Let's step our left foot up to the top of the mat, and we're rising up, warrior two. Lower the right heel down, arms reach up. Inhale. Exhale, reverse. Left arm reaches up and you pull into the front line of the body to lengthen the sideline. Come back through center, left arm, left leg, right arm sweeps over, right ear. The inhale brings you into warrior two. The exhale reverses it, left arm up. And come back through center at the inhale. The left arm to the left leg, the right arm sweeps over. Just press that right foot into the floor and get that big side body extension. Come back up, left arm up, you reach it high. Get long in that left side body. Come back through, left arm, left leg, right arm sweeps over, right here. Then everybody, come back up, warrior two. We are heading to the back of the mat and we're going to a twisted crescent. So if you like to have a block for that, grab a block now. Windmill to the back of the mat, you're gonna turn on your toes. We're facing south, we're bringing our left hand down. Left hand is down underneath that left shoulder. Again, fingertips, block, whatever you like. Press those left toes, squeeze your left glute. Let's all bring our right hand behind our skull, just like opening up the book how we started. Lift your skull into your right palm and then peel the ribs open to the right. See if you can do that without sinking the left hip at all. That's great. Yeah, awesome. And so yeah, you know what? I like that. Let's close it off and open it. Ali added something to it that I liked. It wasn't planned, but I like this. We're going dynamic. Press in the left hand, peel it open and close it off. It'll make sense when we get to this in a little bit again, and I promise we'll hold it a little bit longer, but we are gonna move at this. Nice job. And peel it open one more time. Really nice, everybody. So close it off, lower your left knee behind your right ankle, seated spiral. So here is another place where I personally really like to sit up on a block, get long and tall, and then roll your shoulders back a few times. Let's free those shoulder blades up. So if you don't have a block, but you still feel like your right hip is not connecting to the ground, it's uneven, kick your bottom leg out in front of you. It's sort of hard for us. We got a wall in front of us here. Take a few more breaths. One more. And we'll slow our shoulder rolls down around the world. So unwind, south, east, north. Step to the top of the mat. Exhale, inhale, arms reach forward and up. Exhale, hinge the hips, hands come down, step or hop back. Plank pose, lower, knees are not, head and arm bones stay lifted. Pull back, your hands in Cobra, root your tailbone, push into the palms, up through plank, downward facing dog. Step your right foot forward, warrior two. So lower the left heel down. It's this external rotation happening for the left leg. Your arms reach out, inhale, reverse. You use the exhale to draw the front line in and lengthen the right side of the body. Inhale, come back through center. Right arm, right leg, left arm over. Left ear, push into left foot. Inhale, rise up and reverse. Inhale, rise up. Forearm and left leg. Rise up again, inhale, and reverse. And up. Again, forearm to thigh and left arm sweeps over the left ear. Now, again, we're headed to the back of the mat. So you might already have your block there, but if not, grab it. Come up through warrior two, pivot the toes, windmill. Facing south, right hand comes down inside that left foot. I'm on the medium height here. My right hand's underneath that right shoulder. Left hand behind the skull, pressing that right big toe. So see if you can lift the right glute. And as you press in that right hand, peel the ribs open to the left. Now just pause on this first one and notice if that right hip is sinking down on you. Don't let it happen. Lift it, activate that right glute, and then lower it. So we're closing it off, pressing the right hand and peeling open. Sorry, keep your hip lifted. We are not lowering that down. I can see how that was a little confusing now. So we're gonna open it up, peel it open, close it off, peel it open, close it off. Once again, peel it open, close it off, and right knee behind left ankle, seated spiral. So again, I got my left leg crossed over my right. Sit up on a block for me feels good, and I roll those shoulders back. But sitting up on a block may help you too, to elevate your spine as well. So if you notice there's rounding in the spine at all, you can sit up on the block. That can really help to free the spine space up. You'll see on the second side, I've got a little bit more like motion in my arms going on here. That's just because my scapula are enjoying that bigger range of motion. They're feeling a little bit more free to move now that we've been in some bigger movement patterns. Okay, slow your shoulder rolls down. Unwind around the world, south, west, north, step to top, rise up, inhale, sit in a chair. So it's like a little sun salutation B, just one of these that'll lead us into our final sequence. Step or hop back, lower, knees or not, pull back for Cobra, inhale, root the tailbone, pushing your palms up through plank and downward facing dog. You'll step your left foot forward, rise up for high lunge. Reach the arms up at first and really feel that elevation of shoulders to ears. Then bring your hands to either side of the pelvis. Spread the toes of the left foot, drive the right knee and flex the right hip. Flexing the right hip here. Cup your right knee with your left hand. Now we're going to challenge ourselves here. So lifting your left knee, your right knee a little higher in hip flexion with your left hand. Now let go of it and hold it there. So it's challenging, right? We're a little past the range of motion that your hip flexor thinks it's capable of. And we're reminding it that you can come up here, but we're not holding it there, right? It's different than like holding our leg out with a kick forward or something like that. You'd see like a more traditional yoga. We're holding this here, strong core. We lifted it with the assistance of the hand, but it's our psoas firing up here to hold it. Again, that psoas is usually weak and short for us. We're strengthening it to lengthen it here. Now just one time, extend your right leg back. Your right toes are going to land on the ground. You're going to bring yourself around in a big windmill. Hands land at the back of the mat. Again, you could grab your block if you want. Hands land at the back of the mat and listen carefully. Step your right foot behind your left leg for a cross-legged forward fold. It's a little different than what we usually do. We're going to turn our toes in, turn our heels out. So that's where I grabbed a block because I like my hands up on the block. And from here, we're just going to shake our tail feather. Shake your tail feather, shake your tail feather. So as you're moving side to side, yeah, the block, any height, it can help free your ribs a little bit more. I got my toes really turned in here and we're just freeing up the sidelines of the body. Whoo! All right. And then from here, slow your tail feather shaking down. We're gonna uncross our left leg, walk it to a straddle. So you can bring your block with you. Straddle the legs, the feet will be parallel. They might have a little bit of a turnout to them. I put a pretty solid bend into my knees when I'm straddling. So I have a little bend in the knees, sit the hips back. You can connect your fingertips to the ground, hands on the ground. Allie's got it rocking there. Again, here's where I kind of like to jump on my block. I'm a little tighter in the back space there. And then from here, take a few cat-cows. So we'll pull our chest through and we'll push in the hands, spread the shoulder blades. Pull it through, push and spread. One more. And then come back to neutral and walk your hands back to the front. Step your right foot to meet your left. Inhale, rise up, come into that chair. Hinge at the hips, hands come down, step or hop back. Plank pose, lower, knees are not. Cobra, locust. You want to up dog for this last one, you could go for it. Rise up, meet in downward facing dog. Ooh, we're going to get a little release on the toes there. We'll step our right foot forward, rise up for high lunge. Again, one time here, reach the arms up and really let yourself extend those shoulders up to the ears. Hands come down either side of the pelvis, load the right leg. The left knee comes up, hip flexion. The right hand can cup, hold of the left leg, and then help it out a little, give it a lift, but then let go. Bring your right hand back to the right side of the pelvis. We're activating here, holding, firing up iliopsoas, right? This muscle group is short and weak, sitting in the chair, right? So that's what I mean. Think of sitting in your chair. This muscle would be in a shortened position and not active while you're sitting there. So then we go to stand up, it's still short and it's not active. So it's holding that shortened position. This is activating it and giving it the ability to release itself, to lengthen. Step your left foot back. It's a slow step back. Pivot, turn, windmill. You can bring your block with you. I like that block before. Step that right foot behind the left. Maybe land your hands first. Then, yeah, step your right foot behind your left. Turn the toes in. So as you turn those toes in, you'll have, a little shake and shimmy going on. Oh, I try turning your toes out. I cued that wrong. How does that feel? Better? Okay, turn your toes out, everyone. I was just looking at my feet versus Allie's, and I realized she was a good listener. She turned her toes in, but turn your toes out. This is confusing because we're facing the back of the mat and our legs are crossed. But turn them out now and see how that feels. Don't worry, we're going to do this one again. All right, so slow your tail feather shake down, uncross your right leg from your left, and turn it out. I don't think there's anything wrong with turning those toes in, but just wanted you to get the what I was going for. All right, hands are down here, straddle. Let's pull through and push. I'll turn to the side on this one. It's really good to show from the side because you'll see I got a huge bend in my knees. Push and spread. But the bend in the knees actually kind of helps me out here to free my thoracic spine. So I push into the hands and purposefully dome my back. We're freeing that fascia. Again, you know, you might be in a rounded position during your day. That's like your typical posture, but it's unactive. So we're providing some heat, some activation of those muscles. All right, bring your spine back to neutral. So long spine. Walk your hands to the front and step your left foot to meet your right. Exhale, inhale, rise up. Grab a little water, wipe off some sweat. I know I am. And we're going to take this around the world. Now, the one thing that changes with this flow a little bit is that a few of our moves will get like married together. So we'll see them in a slightly different order than how they showed up on the mat originally. Again, rest assured, you know, we will be going in all directions. So while we move from the front to the back, I think we're gonna go 2 times around the mat. In the end, we'll always be meeting back up at the front. All right, let's do this thing. So arms by your side, stand tall here, inhale, reach them forward and up. Exhale, hinge the hips, hands come down, right foot steps back, right knee comes down, 90-90 low lunge. Inhale, arms reach forward and up. We'll do our right arm reaching up, our left arm down behind that right glute. Lift your right glute up and into your left knuckles. So you want to activate your right glute and squeeze it here so that you can take the pressure out of your knee. If you're holding your glute, it will significantly reduce the pressure you feel going down into your knee. Now from here, rotate a little to the left. And as you're rotating just a little bit to the left, peel that left shoulder blade back. So we're inhaling here and breathing some space into the iliopsoas. Again, working on retraining suboptimal movement patterns. Now from here, this one's a little bit different. You're gonna tuck your right toes, lower the right arm down, bring your left arm to your left thigh, lower the right heel and open up warrior variation. The right arm reaches over the right ear. Take one full breath here. So we'll inhale and stay for the exhale. Now inhale, come to warrior 2. And let's reverse. Stay for a whole inhale here. And exhale. Then come through warrior 2 one more time with the inhale. Side lunge. So I'll give you 2 options here. You can parallel that front left foot, or as you sit back into the right hip, you can lift the left toes up. So that's going to get you a little bit more into this adductor here. If that feels like too much or the pressure in the knee is going forward, I'm going to highly recommend paralleling that left foot. But with the toes turned up here, again, it's just a little opportunity to sit into this right hip, get a little longer into the inner adductor muscles here, which again, if we're limited in the hip, sometimes it's a factor of those being a little bit restricted. Then we're coming to the back of the mat. So everybody walk your hands south, land your left knee down. And then, sorry, left hand is down, but lift your left knee up. Here's our twisted crescent a little longer. So you could grab your block. See, like I forgot mine at the top, just a quick turnaround. And then I got it. Left hand's on the block, under the left shoulder, rotate the ribs open to the right. You can still have your right hand behind your skull. You could bring your right hand to your left glute. Feel free to even reach that right arm up, but wherever you go, really let that left ear fall to left shoulder. So this one also too, little different order. Feel like you could pull your right leg bone deeper into your hip socket. That might straighten your leg a little bit, but again, the goal isn't for the leg to become straight. It's just for you to feel like you're creating more space in the hip flexor. Left knee comes down. If left hand's on block, remove it. Modified side plank. The right leg slides back. You can turn that left hip in a little bit, pressing that right foot. You can reach the right arm over, feel your side body stretch again. If you're really feeling jazzy, you can lift that right arm up, reach that right arm up. Ooh, poor joke for the jazz fans out there. Okay, right leg is up, right glute is working, left hand is down. One more breath here. Lower that right foot down and windmill. Bend the right knee, turn to the front of the mat, lift that left hand, hands land, step the left foot to meet the right, load the left leg, rise on up, single leg balance. Right knee is up. We'll bring our left hand to cup that right leg. So now you're gonna give a little assisted help. Let go of it, make sure it can hold itself there on its own. Then grab it again, and we'll bring our right hand to our heart and twist open. Just a little rotation to the right. You could even reach the right arm out, get a little more extension through that pec minor, that connection from that glenohumeral joint into the pec, shoulder socket. One more. And then from here, we're gonna unwind to face front first, step your left foot back, and then one more time here, take your, sorry, 1 second here, right leg is back, cannot read my own handwriting, yes, windmill to the back, and land your left knee behind your right ankle. Seated spiral, isn't that a nice treat? So we'll bring our hands underneath the, or bring our glutes on top of the block here and rise up tall. Let's just take a little twist here. So hands can be heart center, rotate to the right, and release the arms. Around the world, you know, it's the whole point, challenge ourselves to move in some different directions, have some new ways of thinking and approaching a situation. All right, let's unwind for our straddle. So again, as you unwind, feel free to keep your knees bent, still have your block in hand. And then this time, let's take just a few twists each way. So left hand can be down, right arm twists up, right hand comes down underneath your gaze, and your left arm twists up. And then your left hand comes down, the right arm reaches up, we rotate around the ribs, right hand comes down one more time, the left arm reaches up, rotate around the ribs. Oh. And then let's walk our hands back to the front of the mat, cross your right leg behind your left leg, and turn your toes out. So your toes will face in towards each other, but because they're crossed, they are both externally rotated. And again, you can shake your tail feather a little. Grip those ribs, shake the neck. Oh, I can feel, I like had a little, you know, it's nothing major, but I definitely had a little like funky sleep on my neck. So I'm feeling some wonderful little snap, crackle, pop here. All right, let's slow that shimmy down. Uncross right from left, rise on up. Inhale, arms reach forward and up. Exhale, hinge your hips, hands come down, left foot steps back, left knee comes down, 90-90. So in our low lunge here, arms will reach up, right hand can come onto the right glute in a fist style. You're reaching that left arm up. Add a little rotation around the ribs if you like. That's gonna get a little more refreshment into that iliopsoas. And then from here, again, this is a little different. We're gonna bring our left arm down, right forearm to the right thigh, tuck the left toes, turn and open warrior two with a variation. Right arm on right leg, left arm scoops over. Take a full breath here. So inhale and exhale. Inhale, rise up. Exhale, reverse. Again, full breath here. Keep rooting the tailbone, feel long in the right side with the exhale. Oh, back through center with the inhale. And then we're turning side lunge. So option to sit back in the left hip and just lift the right toes as you keep those toes facing forward. You're gonna feel more of that groin stretch, the collection of the adductors and the hamstrings. Absolutely lower that right foot down to face the same direction. So both toes can face west on the mat if you'd like. Let's honor the hip flexion here, the hip space. Remember, how's that leg doing? What's that left knee feel like? That's most important. Then we'll walk our hands to the back, twisted crescent. So again, maybe grab your block, right hand is down, turn the toes, rotate open. You could have your left hand behind your skull again, I really like mine on my back right glute. It helps keep me lifted here. Then as I lower my right ear to my right shoulder, I get like extra peel of my left ear away from my left shoulder blade. Right knee down, remove the block, send the left leg back, modified side plank. So it's back at the original top of the mat, and you can have that left foot down or you can lift it up. Option to reach the left arm over the left ear or to reach it up. This is more like kneeling half moon here, but we're holding our core steady. We've got the left glute working. The left foot comes down. We're going to bend the left knee, turn the left toes forward, windmill, right arm comes up, turn to the front, and step that right foot to meet the left. Load the right leg, rise up, single leg balance. Left knee is up, cup that left knee, and give it a little lift here, but then let go of it. Make sure you can hold this on your own. Then right hand comes back onto that left knee and rotate. To the left, hand can stay at heart center, or it can reach out towards the back. By reaching out towards the back, we just create a little extra chest wall opening. And then as you unwind, you step your left foot back. And one more time here, let's get a big windmill. To the back, to the south, lower your right knee behind your left ankle, seated spiral. Oh, really good there. Inhale and exhale. Rotate to the left. You just maintain those hands at heart center, or you can rotate to the left and just stay long in the spine. Unwind to the right. We're facing west for our straddle. This time, you can do the twist, you can do cat-cow again, or you can do circle the ribs in cat-cow. So it's just like cat-cow, only you add circling your ribs around in little circles. Ooh, feels so good. And then switch directions. Again, I got a pretty deep bend into my knees. Taking circles is going to kind of change which knee is bent at a time. All right, walk your hands back to the front, be on your block or not. Left foot steps behind the right leg. Turn the toes out. You'll be facing in towards each other, but there's external rotation. And then shimmy. Shake it. All right. So uncross left ankle from the right. Inhale, arms reach forward and up. Let's just feel this length in the spine. Pushing your toes. Hinge the hips, hands come down. Step, hop back. Plank pose, lower, knees or not. Head of the arm bone stay lifted. Forearms or hands under your forehead. Bend your knees and windshield wiper your legs. Oh, feels so good. Take 3 really deep breaths here, all the way in. And sigh it out. Oh. You did all that hard work. You earned this. And, it might not always be easy, right? But let's be real with ourselves. What in life worth having is easy peasy, super attainable, right? A lot of times those things are not the things we appreciate. They're not really even the things that are worth enjoying, right? There's something that goes with that effort, with that strive, with that self-love and compassion to go forward and to do something even though it's hard. Then you'll release the legs. We'll bring ourselves up to quadruped, except for a nice pigeon pose here. So pigeon pose, I like to set it up. Quad, come up onto your fingertips. It helps step your right foot through. There's like a 90-90 thing going on here. Wiggle your right foot over to the left until you come down on to sit on your right hip. So you're all the way on your right side. There's like a ballet sit going on here. You got a 90-90 thing going on with the legs. Then your hands will walk and just kind of, frame out this front leg. So you can stay up on the palms and breathe. You could bring down onto the forearms and breathe. You can release your neck, but still keep your core on. So feel like your front line is lifting into your back line. Option to tuck the left toes and to roll that left femur bone in towards the ground, an internal rotation. By doing an internal rotation for the left femur bone, we're creating a little release for the external rotator of the right side of the hip. Unwind. Obviously, feel free to breathe there a little longer. If you need a little longer on that side, walk your hands back and slide that right leg out from under. Pop up onto the fingertips, walk that left leg through, wiggle it over, come down onto that outer left hip. Again, hands will frame out that left knee, and you can also walk down onto your forearms. Third option is to tuck the right toes and give a nice internal rotation to that right femur bone in that hip socket. And again, as you unwind, you're welcome to stay there longer if you feel you want a little longer on that side. But then let's all come onto our backs and find our final Shavasana. So know that final Shavasana might mean, laying long on the ground. It might mean keeping your feet walked in. You choose what feels comfortable for you. And as we breathe here, we'll just retune and reset. That's what it's all about, right? Just coming back in, noticing how the body's feeling. Take another breath in. And as you exhale, let's sigh out. Maybe wiggle the fingers and toes. Inhale, you can reach the arms up and overhead. And as you do that, you might even send your legs long on the mat. And slowly, when you're ready, gather the limbs back into the torso. rock over to one side, make your way up to whatever feels like a comfortable seated position. We'll let our legs cross. Take an inhale here and exhale. Another big breath in and exhale. So now in this space within ourselves, I bow to the light within you and say namaste.